Well, hello, and welcome once again to another episode of What Nobody Told Me After 65. Well, it's your lady on the go, lady in the know, Miss Info. You have reached the Information Nation, where knowledge is shared and wisdom exchanged for the betterment of a people. Good evening. I'm going to talk to you today about the buck stops here. Yeah. Money, honey, hard earned and easily spent. My grandmother used to say, you got holes in your pockets, because as soon as I put it in, it was out just like that. No respect for it. I thought it grew on trees. Well, really, it doesn't grow on trees. However, paper money is derived from a cotton and linen blend that's done precisely until the desired feel is achieved, the way it feels. People who handle money on a regular basis, like bank tellers, can easily spot a counterfeit by this distinctive feel. Also, red and blue fibers are an ingredient that have been introduced into the process in order to deter reproduction. Security threads have also recently been introduced to run the width of the note. First, that was added in 1990. The threads represent the denomination. For instance, if you have 10 threads, it's a $10 bill. 50 threads, it's a $50 bill, and so forth and so on. Today, they appear in different locations on the note. The thread for the $100 bill carries the words USA 100, which can only be seen with transmitted light and makes photocopying impossible. In 1996, a watermark was added. The portrait on the bill is also a security feature. People tend to remember faces, and if it's not picture perfect, then it would stand out. We already associate Benjamin Franklin with the $100 bill. Remember the movie, The Benjamins? All about the Benjamins. And there are many safeguards used to deter counterfeiting. Microprinting and fine line engraving cannot easily be reproduced yet. What's the old saying? If you build a better mousetrap? Yeah. So, there are new scanning equipment being built every day. It's constantly being improved to make fine line detailed printing possible. So, even though they are making all these monumental changes to the notes, they are building equipment that makes it easier to reproduce. Also, serial numbers are very important, especially for banks, where they handle a lot of cash. No two serial numbers are the same. On new bills, the numbers have been increased to 11 digits, as well as a redesigned Federal Reserve seal and code. Like all other safety features, new bills will require continuous upgrades and additions as new technology evolves. So here are a few fun facts I uncovered about our money. The coins and why they have ridges around the edges. You know, there are several coins that have the little ridged edges. It's on 2 of them. We have four coins in wide circulation: the nickel, the dime, the penny, and the quarter. But only 2 of them have a series of ridges: the dime and the quarter. Why, you ask? Well, let me tell you. In the 17th century, before the U.S. was formed, the coins produced were made of copper, silver, and gold. Because these were precious metals, a clever scheme was born called clipping. It involved shaving a small amount off of the circumference of many coins to eventually amass a quantity worth cashing in. So if you had 50 gold coins and you shaved the edges off, eventually you'd have enough shavings that you could turn into cash. So the shaving did not reduce the size or the weight of the coin, so you could still use it. So now you've got a coin that's not really worth, if it was a dime or a quarter, it wasn't worth that face value because you had shaved a portion of it off. So these altered coins were still in circulation. Clipping was so prevalent in England that by the end of the 17th century, almost half of the silver content was absent from the circulated coins, reducing their face value. In order to combat this practice, England began minting coins with ridged edges. Any coin with smooth edges was clearly a counterfeit. When the U.S. Mint first opened in Philadelphia, the European practice of ridged edges was immediately implemented. We started out with our coins in the United States of America with the ridged edges. Now, paper money was another animal altogether. The first paper money was called Continental currency after the Continental Congress. It was intended to fund the Revolutionary War. Though it started out very strong, a lack of revenue source, a backing for the note, and mismanagement by the government resulted in a very rapid decline and quick depreciation. Great Britain counterfeited the 1777 and 1778 issues of the currency, and it was an act of sabotage. They didn't want to see the newly formed U.S., they didn't want to see it become a nation. And they did that so much so that Congress was forced to recall both printings in the year 1777 and 1778 because the value continued to plummet. Congress stopped printing new Continentals, the new notes, altogether in 1779. Because by this time, they were only worth 1% of their face value by 1781. By the 18th century, Congress needed a currency do-over. They were in trouble. Alexander Hamilton was the first Treasury Secretary, and he established a stable system of credit that he backed with his own money. He established a stable system of credit for the government. And in 1792, the Coinage Act was passed. It called for a standard national mint that would produce coins made of copper, silver, and gold. They included the same denominations that we use today, but also included a broader range of values. For instance, coins that were made of copper included the half cent and the cent. That's why we have the copper penny. But eventually they did away with the half cent. Coins of silver included the half dime. Half dime was a nickel. Dime quarter, half dollar, and dollar. Now we still have the dime and the half dollar and dollar made out of silver. Coins made of gold included the quarter eagle, whose value was $2.50, the half eagle, that was valued at $5, and the eagle, that was valued at $10. And finally, the US dollar was originally designed based on the Spanish peso, or the Spanish milled dollar. The US dollar mimicked the Spanish peso in both its weight and value in silver. Now, where we got the dollar sign is unclear. One theory is because the US dollar and the Spanish peso were so similar, the symbol evolved from superimposing the S for silver and the P for peso from the old shorthand symbol for peso, which was PS, which then they simplified into the familiar S with the two lines, and the P was incorporated in there somehow. That's the symbol that we see today. But the exact origins are still a mystery. Perhaps you can add to this story. Send me some comments in the comments section below. Let me know what you know about the history of the US dollar and the continental dollar, which eventually became our standard note. It was made out of that linen blend. Well, there you have it. Another video of useless information that you can use one day, maybe on Jeopardy. I thought it was pretty interesting. So, if you found this information helpful, please share it with somebody and hit the notification bell and the thumbs up. And remember, you don't know what you don't know. Thanks for listening.